This project here is in the works, probably about 65–70% done. We're in test mode right now. We're not in operation mode, but just running the water systems with what the stuff I got here. Just look, we've got a drip there, and we've got some, basically draining most of the flow back into the what will eventually be a fish tank with fish going, water going, creatures. And yeah, the hardest part of this project so far has been to work with these plastic bottles to reuse them in an effective way. You can see I've got really heavy seams on these bottles because waterproofing ain't easy. You know, you can use a lot of different adhesives and hot glue, and if your holes and your seams aren't perfectly lined up, you're gonna have problems. And so Teflon tape to the rescue. But still, we're in test mode, so knock on wood. We've got some wood here. Actually, that's a composite material. It's got wood in it, but it's plastic, and it acts a lot more like plastic, and it has the firm feel of real wood. And you know, it's not going to get eaten by termites. It's not going to rot from water or such as quick as real wood. Would. So yeah, anyway, that's a timer that I've got it hooked up to a small little pump there, but I haven't tested it yet because I don't think the pump that I have in the sump, the black container there, is going to be powerful enough to lift this about 1.5, 1.6 meters of height. But we'll do some tests. For now, I am running an AC pump that is being converted from DC from my inverter. So basically solar energy that's powering all this right now. See, the other pump that I got in the sump there is about this small, and even this could barely drip high. So the AC pump, it's like 6 watts there, that's pumping right now, is going this flow rate about this right now. And so yeah, we're mostly just drip draining. Yes, exactly. So leaks was the main challenge with building this so far, and ultimately we're going to have 4 different towers. It was designed with that in mind, to pump water out of here from this main reservoir and then splitting it. Right now it's just capped off over here, but we'll put another valve and another output later on once we get our design right. So I'm basically working with plastic bottles here about how best to connect them, and the brand that I was using, the crystal water there, the size of the tip of the apex of the bottle, whatever you call that, the mouth of the bottle, it's larger than 25 mil. That's the only kind of hole saw I got. So I tried some different ones, but it does require a lot of seam work, which I'm still an amateur at all that. So yeah, that's basic system right there. Oh right, the fish tank is basically a solids. I don't know if you can see that T-pipe in the middle there, and it has an output here, the outflow. It's basically a solids lift overflow. It's overflowing, and that the water height will never go beyond that, because as soon as it gets that height, the water, through works of gravity, drains out into the lower container, which is the sump. And I have it running into a small little clay ball filter in the middle, because basically I want to try to keep the solids separate and probably get some worm castings and do some stuff with that. And yeah, basically I got them capped off right now, but I'll be able to run another system like this once I perfect the right method and adjoining these bottles to make one large grow bed. Basically the idea behind this one is, rather than the vertical towers where they're dripping, because this is kind of pressurized, or at least it's got to be a little bit, because the water will build up pressure as it goes up to the water level before ultimately draining out here once the water level gets out there, and it can create a small siphon effect too, if it's airtight coming from there. But yeah, right now we're just doing it at a very minimal drip, so it's not gonna be flooding out of there anytime soon. And so yeah, I gotta watch out for leaks. Checking out my seams, if they're holding up good so far, but the water pressure is not so high if the water level's not so high, because it's dripping at that pace. So it'll take a while to fill all this up before ultimately the water reaches that level and it drains back out into the fish tank.